there is one thing we need to do. Do you know what that is?
Go down the rabbit hole.
Oh, well, that's stolen my thunder, isn't it? I'm going to say it anyway. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Here we go. Okay, Philip.
Okay,
we are
great.
here in the rabbit hole, and we've got Beth Chalmers. We've had some guests recently who have acted for Big Finish in various different roles over the years, and I want to ask you: are there any particular actors that you can think of that stand out, guest actors, who have been quite large voices in Big Finish over the last 20-something years that they've been going? Can you think of any? I've got a list in front of me. You don't.
Well, no, I don't. I hate how you just throw things like this at me.
Well, let me give you a couple.
Okay.
How about this for early Big Finish? Ian Brooker. There's
Yes.
a voice. There's a voice that stands out to me.
Yes.
And he pops up in many big. I can't remember what the last one he did was. I haven't heard much of him, but he still pops up from time to time, I think.
Yep.
But he was there a lot. We've spoken a lot with Jez Fielder recently for various things, and I didn't realise before speaking to him how much he'd been in. He's been in heaps.
He has, because he keeps
Well, mainly
changing
because he's got
names.
2 or 3 names. That's right. What about Annette Badland?
Yes.
She is one of those guest actors that pops up, and she does various different roles, doesn't she? So she's played the role that she played on Doctor Who on television for Big Finish,
Yep.
but she's done many other things as well, and is a reliable actor that comes and does what Big Finish order. So she's a good one too. Have you thought of any other names yet that stand out to you?
I was thinking about Stephen Wickham from the early days
yes.
as well.
Yes.
Very low, very booming voice. And,
Yep.
I mean, The Fires of Vulcan is when I first noticed him. But he continued on with a number of other very interesting roles as well. Another person in terms of Anthony Keach from early days.
Yep.
So plays a lot of roles. Probably most famous would be is he Chancellor in Neverland?
I think so.
Okay, I can't remember. I can't
One of
keep
the
all
roles
those,
there.
all those Gallifreyan roles. But he recurs in a few different ones until they finally kill him off. But Anthony Keach has appeared in a lot of earlier ones, so that's a couple of actors.
And don't forget Helen Goldwyn.
Well, yes.
Even though she's a big name now, she's for directing and that kind of thing. Back then, she was appearing regularly as guest cast, even before the Tomorrow People.
Yes,
she was doing
Maggie,
lots of
Maggie
stuff.
Stables was a lot of guest cast parts as well. She started off on Benny as a guest cast. She came in the Silence of Time guest cast. So
Yep.
she did lots of bits and pieces until they brought her on as a companion.
Yep. How about this for a regular cast member who's done lots of things but doesn't change his voice much? David Warner.
Yes.
Lots and lots of things he's popped up in.
Well, his 20th anniversary is this month. Well, it depends when this goes out. It was
For
June.
Sympathy of the Devil.
Sympathy of the Devil was the first time he appeared for Big Finish 20 years
Yep.
ago. And
Yep.
goodness knows how many different roles he's played. But yes, and I've said this to Lisa, in terms of I don't comprehend how someone who doesn't change their voice can be so totally different in every production they do in his character. He just has this presence that just changes his character, even though that beautiful, rich voice he always has.
He just leans on a certain intonation and changes it completely, although it's still recognisable David Warner.
Yeah, and an early standout for me was Sally Nivette in Spare Parts, because that role really stood out for me. Even though I guess maybe she was already a name, but that's one of those roles that really stood out.
Because it was so different to Jenna, do you mean?
Yes, which once again, I mean, it was still her voice, but it's just such a powerful role, and she just made it her own. And that whole play is just an amazing play.
I'll give you some more names. What about Mark Elstob for someone more recent?
Definitely.
He pops up all the time, but he's got a voice that is very chameleonic and changes a lot. Let's not forget Glenn McCready, who's done many episodes, and he'll be joining us as a guest next time for our next episode. So looking forward to sharing that one with you. And of course, Beth Chalmers is one of those actors who pops up and does lots of things. And we're going to talk with her more about that soon. There was one I forgot to mention. Oh, there's a couple I forgot to mention. How about Anjali Mahindra?
Yes, she's appearing in a lot of stuff recently, isn't she?
Yep, lots of recent things. And of course, let's not forget, it's not just the lesser known actors. It's the big actors who come back and keep doing more stuff too, like Mark Bonner.
Yes, it's amazing some of the huge names that they have.
But look at the characters Mark Bonner does. He's done Space 1999. He's done the 11. They're the two big standout performances for me, but he's popping up in lots and lots of things over the years.
Yeah. I think another couple of early ones. Robert Kirbishley was in a lot of early big finishes, and Lennox Graves also appeared in a lot of number of early big finishes as well. Yeah, they I think because Big Finish often talk about themselves being a family, and I do think that when they find actors they like, they do keep finding as many opportunities as they can to keep using them. And obviously lots of actors just love going back.
There was one actor, I couldn't think of his name, but I think it's come to me. Is it Mark Bremer, who played the original Ice Warrior Lord in Red Dawn? Is it Mark Bremer? Is that who it was?
Sounds right. I can look
Can
it
you
up.
look it up for me since you got it in front of you?
Matthew Brenner.
Matthew Bremer. So I was close. He was in a lot of early ones too, not just playing the Ice Warrior, but lots and lots of different roles. So
no, George Moffat was in that too.
In Red Dawn?
Yeah, Georgia Moffat. Gary
really?
Russell, Robert Jesrick, Jason Haig Ellery, Stephen Fewell, Matthew Brennan, Nicola Pride, Peter James. What an amazing cast. There's
another one, Robert Jessic. He played lots of things as well. But he's got one of those very recognisable voices because he had the American accent too. So he'd always stood out. Some great regulars throughout the years in Big Finish. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree.
Very good. All right, let's climb up out of the rabbit hole. If you enjoyed what you heard in this clip from the Sirens of Audio podcast, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you never miss out on another episode from us. And if you want to find out more about us, including our back catalogue of episodes, you can head over to sirensofaudio.com.